hellos. I hope you're all doing good. Welcome back to my channel, Heart Warriors Tarot. We're going to be doing a reading, looking at your current energies today and seeing how those current energies are going to play out over the next 2 weeks. So we're going to take a look at what I call your elementals, so your water energy, your fire energy, your earth energy, and so on, all representing different reactions and states of emotions for you. So water energy is all about your heart and your feelings. Air energy is all about your mind and your perceptions, your ways of thinking, and so on and so on. So I'll just explain all that as I go. I've got the Radiant Wilds Tarot here, a really lovely deck with quite a Leo energy actually, hot and fiery, really beautiful desert energy, abstract images as well. And then I also have a small Rider-Waite deck here for any clarifications should I need it. Just going to cleanse this space a little bit because I've just realised I haven't smudged it. This is my rosemary smudge stick. I made this. This is rosemary from my garden. I'm going to chime my singing bowl, take a few seconds just to tune in with me in silence, and then we'll get into the reading. Okay, fabulous Leos, thank you so much. Okay, let's give this a good shuffle. Just connecting with my higher self, with my guides, with my angels here. And can we have a few cards for Leo, please, to show us where they're at with their current energies at the moment. This is a timeless reading, suitable for whenever you happen to see it, by the way. Okay, can we have a card for Leo's water energy, please? For Leo's heart and emotions, their feelings, what's going on in their heart, their water energy. This one. Seven of Wands, perhaps feeling defensive about something possibly. This is also a card about courage, finding the courage to do something. Okay, let's have a look at your air energies, the air element, your mind, your perceptions, your psychology. Oh, something flipped over. The Fool. Wanting to start something new, wanting to go in a new direction with something, wanting to take a leap of faith with something, and it's as if you're trying to muster up the courage in your heart to do what you want to do mentally, what you want to do logically. So in your mind, you have a direction you want to go in. It's a new beginning. It's a new phase. It's perhaps, like I said, a leap of faith. It is a leap towards a direction, a particular horizon that you feel is very promising and going to bring you wonderful things. But in your heart energy, in your water emotions, there is perhaps a little bit of fear here. There's a little bit of reactiveness. There's a little bit of having to defend yourself or feeling defensive, perhaps defensive in case you fail. There may actually be a fear of failure here with this card as well. The feeling as if you have to state your reasons for something. You don't have to state your reasons for anything. You can just go ahead and do what it is that you want. Of course, there are certain provisos with that. If you work as a team within your family and so on, you have to take that into consideration. There is a certain consultation method that needs to go on if you are closely linked with your family in your day-to-day runnings of things and so on. So it could be that you are feeling defensive or having to muster up the courage in order to discuss something you want to do, something you want to go forward with, that leap of faith, finding the right words for it and so on. Okay, let's have a card, please. We'll take this one. This is for your earth energy. What's going on in your material world and your environment, perhaps even your health for some people as well. Let's have a look. We have the Seven of Pentacles. There is a feeling with regards to your environment and the material world around you that you have to put things in place in order to take this leap of faith and go in the direction you really want to go in. This Seven of Pentacles is about sowing the seeds in order to reap your rewards. What I'm hoping here is that you started to sow these seeds a year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, and you are in the place now to be able to harvest whatever grew so that you can use that product or whatever material gain that is in order to move forward and leap in the direction that you want to go in. That would be the ideal for this reading here. For others of you watching, it could be that you are in a place where you've kind of only just realized that maybe you need to start planting these seeds so that in a year's time, for example, you have what you need in order to go forward into your new beginning. With this card in this particular deck, there is a feeling of stagnation, of being stuck in the mud, of things around you not quite helping you progress as quickly as you would like. So if you want to follow your mind, your beliefs, your perceptions, your psychology and logical thinking, and if you want to go in that direction here and take that leap of faith, I feel like almost you've got to talk to your emotions and feelings, talk to your reactions about things and muster up that courage that you need in order to take the action you need. It feels to me like for some of you, you have to take action in order to get the ball rolling with this. And it's going to be a slightly difficult action because of this stuck in the mud kind of feeling. It's like you having to move a boulder. That's with one group of Leos. With the other group of Leos, what I'm getting is that you actually sowed these seeds a long time ago and you're in the position now to actually start to reap whatever grew out of those seeds. And with a little bit of movement here, with a little bit of action, you can actually start on this path without too much trouble. Okay, that is what I'm feeling here. Let's have a look at your fire energy, Leos. Your fire energy is your energy levels, your vitality. It's also your spiritual journey. It's the state of your soul and your spiritual evolution, if you like. Your fire element can also be any karmic lessons you're currently going through, any karmic rebalancing. Rebalancing is probably a better word than lessons, to be honest. Everything's a lesson. But the notion of karma is all about rebalancing. Ace of Swords. That's really lovely, okay? This is a card that suggests to me you are going through some kind of spiritual awakening here. Okay, there is a spiritual awakening taking place, waking up into your higher self, waking up into your higher perceptions about things and so on. There is a clarity you have now that you didn't have before. There's a clarity in your spiritual wants and desires and the direction you would like to take, the kind of abundance that belongs to your soul, if you like. It's not the kind of abundance that comes from emotional fulfillment like friendships or relationships and so on. It's not the kind of abundance that comes from material means, having the resources that we need so that we can have our wants and our desires and so on and so on. And it's not even the kind of abundance that comes from the freedom to think your own way and act out the way that you think. This Ace of Swords is talking about awakening into the kind of abundance that your soul is looking for. It's almost like the kind of happiness and abundance that in some ways we only get insight on and we only reach when we are in some ways towards the end of our life, when we've actually lived a full life, if we're lucky enough to do that, and we get the chance to look at everything that's come before, to reevaluate everything that we've done within our lives and how it is that we want to move forward, and then then in however long we have left on this plane of existence, we are then working towards abundance of the soul. And this is like an awakening into the clarity of what it is that you want for your soul going forwards. What kind of abundance do you want for your soul journey? And putting things in place in order to accomplish that, in order to find that. And this card is very much connected, I feel, to your perceptions, your psychology, and your state of mind. Your state of mind has changed a lot. Your perceptions have changed a lot. And also the strength of your will. It's like the polishing of a blade. The strength of your will has changed a lot over the past however many years, perhaps even 2 or 3 decades. And you have a much clearer vision now of how you want to move into your future and so on. But there is a fear here with your emotions. And I may put down a few more cards from the other deck just to get some more insight into this feeling you have, like you need to defend yourself and you really need to push to sort of get your heart into the same space as your mind and your spiritual awakening, if you see what I mean. It's almost like the changes and the leap that you need to take to get to where you want to with regards to your soul journey or your spirituality is quite big. It will require a big shift or a big change, and perhaps you've been working towards this for quite a while. The Seven of Pentacles will certainly indicate that you have been working towards making this shift for a while, but it's this Seven of Wands that is suggesting to me there is a slight fear there that needs overcoming. You're mustering up the courage to be able to stand on that hilltop and do what it is you need to do to get over here to this place, towards that abundance of the soul. I'm going to put another card down now for the element of spirit, which in some circles is considered to be the 5th element. This is any messages from your own higher self, from your spirit guides, from your angels, from your spiritual team, really, the people who look out for you. It could be messages from your ancestors as well. We have the 2 of Pentacles. It's about walking through this door. It's about making the changes that you need to make, actively making those changes. There's something here about mirrors and how mirrors can work for you or against you depending on your perceptions and how it is you juggle those mirrors. This card is telling me that changes are needed in order for you to be able to move forward in the way that you want to. It is necessary to make those changes. There may be quite a lot of things you need to juggle and put into place in order to make this shift. But here's the irony. The irony is that the spirit of the Fool is about not juggling 100 things. It's about throwing everything he has into one bag and just taking off no matter what. That's actually the spirit of the Fool. You know, he's like the innocent backpacker, the one who only sees the adventure in what's ahead and no dangers at all. He's basically not much of a planner. He or she is not much of a planner, the kind of person who literally throws the necessities into a bag and off they go. That's the energy of the Fool. And it's almost like you need to muster that kind of energy in order to move forward. But there are things to juggle with the 2 of Pentacles. And what I'm going to do now is just put down a few more cards from the other deck for some more insight and some more clarity on these 3 cards here. The emotions and heart energy, the environment, physical world around you, perhaps even finances and material needs. And I'm feeling this card is something to do with the family line, something you've inherited coming down from your ancestors as to why it is that you might feel a certain way about some things moving forwards. The Hierophant. This is pointing towards, for me, a really strict upbringing in some way or another. There is a need to be very correct with the way that you proceed with some things. And it could be that this correctness can be a little bit rigid sometimes, that there is kind of sort of like psychological patterns that have been built up through your upbringing, you know, from when you were very young, placed upon you by your parents and your ancestors and so on, which basically means that you have certain beliefs and values that prevent you from making the changes that you need to make in order to just leap in the direction that you want to. It's like there's a part of you that's very proper, and there's a part of you that's very right and correct and hold your morals very close to you, and you would be in some ways disappointed with yourself if you kind of veered away from those morals that maybe were set a long time ago, or through your grandparents and great-grandparents and so on. It's about breaking that kind of pattern, family pattern, the tower. Yeah, it's about breaking it and bringing it down and changing the way that things are done, the chariot, in order to move forward, to master a new vehicle. Mastering a new vehicle. If you look at the cars that are made nowadays, they're nothing like the cars that were made 50 years ago. And likewise, you're nothing like your great grandparents, and the 18-year-olds in the world today are nothing like their grandparents. We learn a lot from our ancestors, from our elders, but you have to go your own way with something. This is the Queen of Swords. It's the card of independence. It's one of the most independent court cards, and really what she's telling me is that there is a need, and always has been a need, for you to be rebellious and go your own way. And I think perhaps maybe you've succeeded in some ways or another, because there is a lot of strength and courage here. Okay, so I think that there's perhaps a lot that you've done in your life that has broken molds, and you've gone new ways with things that other people before you simply haven't been able to. But there is more to do. This role you've had as the rule breaker or the rebellious person is actually part of your life purpose. It's part of what you've been here to do. But at the same time, it's not come easily to you, not completely, because you've got this Hierophant here above the Queen of Swords. And this Hierophant is really saying that in some ways you've struggled to be the Queen of Swords. You've tried to be the Queen of Swords, but there's been this Hierophant ruling over you, family traditions or sense of loyalty, or, you know, whatever it might be, ways that you're viewed by society or a certain industry, for example, meaning that you have found it very difficult to break away from that. But if and when you do, it will be like the tower falling down. And then when the tower comes down, it's almost like you've got a new vehicle when the tower comes down, and you can ride that new vehicle to anywhere you want to go. Ideally this future. Okay, just have a couple more cards down here. Yeah, the Seven of Cups. There's a feeling of fear and confusion here with the Seven of Cups if that tower comes down. Almost like a sense of you're not going to know what to do. There is a part of you, Leo, that needs the structure, that is a safe and comfortable and secure life. There is a familiar framework for you that you can work off. You need that kind of foundation. And perhaps there's a part of you that doesn't like to admit that, you know, the part of you that is the Queen of Swords. But the Hierophant here and the configuration here is just telling me that it is something that you need, whoever is relating to this reading. You need that framework, and that is part of the reason why you have struggled in some ways to go 100% in the direction that your mind and the need of your soul wants to take you. Okay, that doesn't mean you failed, by the way. It just means that this is the journey. This is the journey. Okay, Three of Wands. Yeah, The potential for new horizons with the Three of Wands underneath the Chariot is absolutely there. The Three of Wands does bring a cautiousness to the energy of the Chariot, and this cautiousness is what is aligning kind of with the Hierophant energy here, and the slight not inability but the challenge that you might feel in breaking the mold, in completely changing the patterns that are ingrained in you from how you've grown up. And some of those patterns, by the way, are not negative at all. They've been extremely helpful to you. And it is sometimes extremely difficult to break certain patterns so that we can go in the new direction, completely new direction that we really want to. When we have this kind of heaviness of rules and structure and so on hanging over us. So I'm feeling like that's your current energies, Leo, okay? This is what's going on with your current energy field. This is the direction your sort of mind and your perceptions, your willpower and your soul want to take you. But you know, there are feelings, emotions, reactions, material needs connected to those emotional reactions, and also connected to your ancestry and learned patterns from the past that have come down the line. All of those things are what needs working on so that you can really go in the direction that you want to. I'm feeling like I want to put down an oracle card just to like finalize this reading. Let's go for this deck. This is the, I can't remember what it's called, the Ancestors and Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck. I'm just going to pull out one card here for advice and guidance about how to go forward here, what you can do next. Earth Guardian, stay rooted and grounded. That is the advice coming through. And I really feel that, you know, this is where your comfort is here. This is also a very important facet of what it is that you need in your life. Despite the part of you that is the freedom seeker and the free thinker and the 20-year-old wannabe backpacker that goes traipsing over valleys and hills in countries that they've never been to before without a plan, okay? Despite the part of you that is this, you need this to stay rooted and grounded. And it's also because there is a lot that you can give to yourself and to others when you are rooted and grounded. That's okay. I'm sensing with this reading quite a bit of a dichotomy here, and it could be that you are a little bit polarized in your makeup, in your not personality exactly, but just in your soul journey and in the journey that you have taken up until now, that there is this polarity within you, that you are almost like two separate people sometimes, with your needs and wants and what it is that you really like in your life, but also this kind of desire to take that leap of faith in any other direction, because you do see the new horizon very well. Perhaps you're surrounded by a lot of young people and you can see their potential and where it is that younger people have the potential to go nowadays, where the new pathways are opening up, where the new doorways are opening up. No matter what state the world is ever in any century, when you are 16, 17, 20, 22, you have the world at your feet, and you have the gift of being able to see the path unfold before you. You have the willpower and the courage and the want to follow the new path into a completely unknown future. That is the gift of every 20-year-old, every 21-year-old. And I feel like there's a part of you that isn't necessarily stuck there. I don't want to use the word stuck, but there's a part of you that very much relates to that energy. And it could be in part because maybe you never quite fulfilled an element of this within yourself when you were that age. Or it could also just be because you are surrounded by young people. And, there might be a sense of nostalgia here where you wish you could go back to being so carefree and being able to incorporate that into your life. But we have the advice and guidance here from the Earth Guardian to stay rooted and grounded. And there is some kind of beautiful kind of crone wise woman energy here with this card as well. Earth is represented by north. It's represented by the cooler winters of life. And with that winter energy comes an understanding of all the seasons that came before, of understanding what it took to get to winter in the first place. And to be truly comfortable in this kind of element is to also have a kind of abundance that is not possible any other way. So there is an interesting, I don't know if we should call it a soul lesson or a life lesson, whatever it is that's going on here, but I'm feeling like there is a need here to become comfortable with being rooted and grounded. It's a very opposite energy to the Fool card in so many ways, and perhaps part of the lesson that's taking place here, part of the learning, is that you don't lose the adventure of the Fool or the soul abundance that your spiritual self is looking for by practicing being the Earth Guardian. Instead, you accept and encompass the beauty of where you are now, even with its frustrations. Perhaps the frustration in some ways is only there because you want to leap away from here and be somewhere new. But if it's not time to take that leap, for whatever reason, if it's not time right now to take that leap, then all we're doing by focusing on it so much is removing ourselves from the present and where we need to be. And the Earth Guardian card is implying that it would be best for you to take stock of what is around you now in your environment and not project your vision of the future onto who you are now and where you are now. It could be that with this Two of Pentacles card, that your ancestors changed things up a lot. Perhaps they emigrated a lot over and over again throughout centuries. Perhaps they always looked in that mirror and saw something else that they wanted instead of satisfaction and fulfillment with what they had, with their reflection. For example, if that's the case, then you're being asked to love where you're at now and see the beauty being reflected back at you from everything that you've accomplished and because of where you are now as well. The Earth Guardian card is also about the protection, the knowledge and the wisdom that you can give others. And it could be that by accepting where you are now, you will put yourself in the position of your own crone energy, your own wise woman energy, whether you're a man or a woman watching this. And tapping into that will mean that you become a teacher, an elder. You become someone who can advise others and even protect others with everything that you've learnt and with your skills and so on. That people might also look to you as that kind of person because you're rooted and you're grounded. You're someone they can rely on. It is a very different energy to the Fool. It's a very interesting reading, I find. I've quite enjoyed this reading. This is an interesting phase of your journey that you're going through at the moment, Leo, and I hope this has helped one or more of you watching. It's food for thought. That is why I do my readings. I like to provide food for thought and a different way of thinking about something, or perhaps confirmation with where you're at the moment on your journey and how to move forward. Those are the reasons for my readings, and I hope you get something out of them. Thank you so much for listening. Take care of yourselves, and I shall see you next time for the next reading.